I was standing in my bathroom, staring at the empty shelf where my medications should have been. My hands were shaking, not from fear yet, but from something worse. Withdrawal. 3 days without my blood pressure medication, and my body was screaming at me. I opened the cabinet again, as if the orange bottles would magically appear. Nothing. I checked the kitchen counter, the bedside table, my purse, every place I might have left them.
Gone.
All of them gone. That's when I saw it. The notification glowing on my phone screen. Your prescription has been delivered to the address on file. But I hadn't received anything. My fingers fumbled with the CVS app, my heart hammering so hard I could feel it in my throat. I scrolled to the delivery address, and the words on the screen made no sense at first. I read them 3 times before they registered. 2847 Maple Grove Lane. Sienna's apartment. Not my house. My daughter's address was listed as the primary delivery location for every single one of my prescriptions. My blood pressure medication. My thyroid pills. The antidepressants I'd been on since the divorce. Everything. And then I remembered. All those times over the past few months, when Sienna had shown up at my door with a little sandwich bag of pills. "I picked these up for you, Mom," she'd say, smiling that sweet smile. "I know you hate going to the pharmacy, so I had them delivered to my place." I'd hugged her, called her thoughtful, the perfect daughter. She'd been intercepting my medications for months, and I'd thanked her for it. I didn't know it yet, but what I was about to discover would make me wish I'd never opened that app. My daughter wasn't helping me. She was using me. And those pills? They were just the beginning of an operation that would destroy everything I thought I knew about the person I'd raised. The shock of that discovery left me frozen, phone still in my hand, staring at Sienna's address like it was written in a foreign language. My mind kept trying to construct innocent explanations. Maybe she'd changed it temporarily when I was recovering from surgery last year. Maybe she forgot to change it back. Maybe this was all just a terrible misunderstanding. But even as these thoughts formed, something deeper, something primal, was screaming danger. I need you to understand what Sienna meant to me. After her father walked out when she was 7, it became us against the world. Just the 2 of us in that tiny apartment, barely making ends meet while I worked double shifts to keep her in a good school district. I'd sacrificed everything to give her the childhood she deserved. Dance classes, college without debt, a life better than mine. We were close, or I thought we were. She called me 3 times a week, always checking in. We had Sunday brunch together, her ritual, not mine. She'd bring croissants from the French bakery I loved, and we'd sit for hours talking about her marketing job, her friends, her struggles with anxiety that mirrored my own. I'd been proud. So proud of how open we were, how different from my relationship with my own cold, distant mother. I called Sienna immediately. For rings, then voicemail. Her cheerful recorded voice felt like mockery now. I tried again. And again. 12 times that evening, each call unanswered. Finally, at 11:47 p.m., she responded with a text. "Mom, I'm at a work thing. Can we talk tomorrow? I promise there's an explanation." But I called CVS first. The representative was kind but firm. Yes, the address had been changed 4 months ago. Yes, through my online account with the correct login credentials. 12 deliveries total had gone to that address. 12 deliveries. And I'd never suspected a thing because Sienna had been hand-delivering just enough pills to keep me from running out. The realization hit like a physical blow. This wasn't an accident. This was planned, calculated, sustained over months.
But why?
That question kept me awake all night, pacing my bedroom floor. Why would my daughter, my only child, my best friend, steal my medications? I showed up at Sienna's apartment at 8 a.m. sharp, sleep-deprived and desperate for answers. She opened the door in pajamas, hair in a messy bun. But her eyes were wide awake, alert. She'd been expecting me.
Mom, come in.
I can explain. Her apartment looked perfect as always. Minimalist furniture, thriving plants, framed photos of us smiling together on every wall. The home of someone who had everything figured out. Where are my medications, Sienna? She didn't hesitate. She walked to the kitchen and opened a cabinet above the refrigerator. Inside were rows and rows of orange prescription bottles, all bearing my name. Months of medication, lined up like inventory. I can explain, she said, but her voice had changed. Harder. Defensive. Then explain why you've been stealing from me for 4 months. She crossed her arms, lifted her chin. I wasn't stealing. I was protecting you. You were taking too much, Mom. Mixing medications that shouldn't be mixed. I did research. Do you know what can happen when you combine SSRIs with blood pressure medication? I was regulating your doses, making sure you were safe. The audacity of it stole my breath. I'm 53 years old. I've been managing my own medications for decades. You're not a doctor, Sienna. You're not a pharmacist. You're my daughter, and you committed a crime. A crime? Her laugh was bitter. You want to call the police because I was worried about you? Her face had transformed. The warm, loving daughter I knew had vanished, replaced by someone cold. Someone I didn't recognize. You're really going to do this? She asked quietly. You're going to make this a big thing when I was just trying to help. I didn't answer. I just grabbed every bottle from that cabinet, stuffing them into my purse and pockets until I rattled with pills. Then I walked out without another word. That night, I couldn't sleep. Her explanation didn't make sense. If Sienna was genuinely worried about my medication combinations, she would have talked to me. Come to my doctor appointments. She wouldn't have been sneaking around, intercepting prescriptions, playing amateur pharmacist with my life. Something else was happening. Something darker. The first twist came when I started investigating my own daughter. I began with social media, scrolling through months of Instagram posts. Everything looked normal at first: brunch with friends, work events, beach days. Just a successful young woman living her best life. But then I noticed the details. A Prada handbag and a photo from 3 months ago. A Cartier watch glinting on her wrist at a friend's birthday party. Posts from restaurants where a single meal cost more than my weekly grocery budget. Weekend trips to Miami. Wine country getaways. Sienna made around $60,000 a year at her marketing job. Comfortable money, but not designer handbag money. Not spontaneous luxury vacation money. I opened her Venmo. She'd left it public, probably never expecting her mother to look. The first few months of transactions were normal.
Coffee splits.
Uber shares. Concert tickets. But then I saw the pattern that made my blood run cold. Every 2 weeks, like clockwork, a payment from someone named Marcus T. Amounts between $300 and $600. The note was always the same. Pill handshake. A pill emoji and a handshake. The second twist hit me like a freight train. My daughter wasn't just stealing my pills. She was selling them. My hand shook as I created a fake Facebook profile. I'm not proud of it, but I was desperate. I searched for Marcus in Sienna's friends list. Found him. Private profile, but his picture showed a man in his mid-30s with dead eyes and a predatory smile. I'd reached the limit of what I could discover alone. So I did something I never imagined I'd do. I hired a private investigator. Robert Chen was a former police detective, calm and professional. I met him at a coffee shop and laid out everything: the address change, the pills, the Venmo payments, my suspicions. He called me back in 3 days. Mrs. Patterson, you need to sit down. I was already sitting at my kitchen table, but I gripped the edge anyway. Your daughter is selling your blood pressure medication. Hydrochlorothiazide. It's a diuretic that's become popular in bodybuilding circles for rapid water weight loss before competitions. She's moving them through a dealer network. The room tilted. But that's not all. His voice was gentle but firm. She's been impersonating you to get prescriptions you were never actually prescribed. Using your insurance card, going to different doctors, obtaining controlled substances like Adderall and Xanax. Then selling those too. Your insurance company has been paying for thousands of dollars in medications you've never seen. I couldn't breathe. The third twist was the money. $18,000 in 4 months. Every designer bag, every luxury dinner, every glamorous weekend, built on stealing my identity and dealing drugs. How is that even possible? I whispered. She has your insurance information, your medical history, your date of birth. She's been going to different doctors and different networks, claiming to have anxiety and attention issues that overlap enough with your real history to be believable. Some doctors were fooled. Others, she's been using online prescription services that don't verify identity thoroughly. After I hung up, I sat in the gathering darkness, unable to move. My daughter, my only child, the person I'd sacrificed everything for, wasn't just a thief. She was a criminal. And I was her victim that I confronted Sienna 2 days later. Showed up unannounced, used my spare key, and walked into her apartment. She was at the kitchen counter, packaging pills into Ziploc bags. Digital scale. Labels. The whole operation laid out like a business. She looked up when I entered. Didn't even try to hide it. "I know everything," I said, my voice steady despite my racing heart. The selling. The fraud. Marcus. The $18,000. All of it. The mask fell away completely. What remained was a stranger. "So, what are you going to do?" Her voice dripped with contempt. "Turn me in? Destroy your only daughter's life over some pills?" "You committed fraud, Sienna. Insurance fraud. Identity theft. Drug dealing. These are federal crimes." She laughed, sharp, ugly, cruel. "You won't do it. Because if you do, everyone will know you raised a criminal. They'll wonder what you did wrong. Your perfect single mother act will be exposed as the failure it is." She stepped closer, eyes cold and calculating. "You were too busy being a martyr, too busy working and sacrificing and congratulating yourself to actually see me. I learned a long time ago to take care of myself. That's all I'm doing." I looked at this person wearing my daughter's face, and something inside me broke. The core truth I'd been avoiding crashed down. I hadn't just lost my daughter. I'd never really known her at all. I walked out and called the police the next morning. I gave them everything. Documentation, Venmo records, prescription bottles with my name containing drugs I'd never been prescribed. The detective looked at me with confusion and pity. "You understand your daughter will likely face prison time?" "I understand. You'll testify against her?" I thought of the little girl who used to bring me dandelions. Then the woman packaging pills calling me a failure. Yes. Sienna was arrested 3 weeks later. Prescription fraud. Insurance fraud. Identity theft. Distribution of controlled substances. Bail set at $50,000. She called from jail. I didn't answer. She sent letters. I didn't open them. Friends called me heartless. Family said I was destroying her life over a mistake. But it wasn't a mistake. What Sienna did was calculated, deliberate, sustained. Hundreds of choices, each one a betrayal. She pleaded guilty 8 months later. 18 months in federal prison. 3 years probation. $35,000 in restitution. I didn't attend sentencing. It's been a year. People ask if I regret it. I miss the daughter I thought I had. But not the person I discovered. The one who could steal from me and call it protection, who could commit crimes in my name and feel entitled to it. I've learned something devastating about parenthood. Sometimes your child becomes someone you don't recognize. Someone you can't save. Someone who has to face consequences, no matter how much it destroys you. Sienna gets out in 6 months. She hasn't written in 3. I don't know if she'll reach out. I don't know what I'll do if she does. But I know this. I didn't fail by turning her in. I would have failed if I'd enabled her destruction. To anyone discovering someone they love has betrayed them, it's okay to protect yourself. Love doesn't mean being a victim. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let someone face the consequences of their choices, even when that someone is your own child. If you've stayed with me through this story, thank you. These impossible situations where love and self-preservation collide, they need to be shared. If my experience helps you feel less alone, then maybe something good can come from this pain. I check my medication cabinet every morning. All bottles exactly where they should be. But some nights I wake up reaching for my phone to call Sienna, forgetting she's gone. The relationship died, but the love didn't. I'm left carrying affection with nowhere to put it. My daughter isn't dead, but the daughter I knew is. Some betrayals don't kill you. They just change you into someone who knows that trust, once shattered, leaves cuts that never heal. Every pill I take reminds me that the person who should have protected me turned me into profit. And I'm learning to live with that truth. The relationship died, but the love didn't. I'm left carrying affection with nowhere to put it.
My daughter isn't dead.
But the daughter I knew is. Some betrayals don't kill you. They just change you into someone who knows that trust, once shattered, leaves cuts that never heal. Every pill I take reminds me that the person who should have protected me turned me into profit. And I'm learning to live with that truth.